Yo, this your boy Q Bar, and y'all already know I'm the host of the Barcode Podcast 414, and I'm here with a very familiar face that I'm pretty sure all of y'all know. And he was in the NCAA tournament, man. Y'all got to give it up for my boy Jack Gohlke, man. Thanks for pulling up, bro.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on. We're going to chop it up today. We're going to have some fun.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And before we even chop it up and get into your journey, I have to give you your flowers, man. He's class of 2018. He went to Pewaukee High School. He's an alumni there. He attended Hillsdale College Division II program, and he's currently a grad student slash athlete at Oakland University, where he received a Horizon Six Man of the Year award, and also made the Horizon League All Tournament team. And we can't forget y'all. He also just put out Kentucky, bro, in the NCAA tournament in the first round. Y'all give it up, bro. Got to give you your flowers, bro.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Now I'm originally from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Uh, we both from Wisconsin, and everybody knows about the city. Milwaukee.
Well,
We got the Bucks there. I guess it's just the most popular if you say. But you from Pewaukee, Wisconsin, correct?
yep.
Pewaukee, Wisconsin. Not too far from me, but I want to know about your upbringing. Like, how was it for you growing up in Pewaukee, Wisconsin?
Man, it was great. It's a great place to grow up. Competitive like sports scene in the town. Obviously had some great athletes come out of there with the Watt brothers, and lately hoops has been huge there pretty much since I was in high school and then since I left. But I felt pretty lucky when I was growing up because I played on. So I obviously played on my local Pewaukee team, so I made a bunch of good friends there, and close to home had a bunch of buddies. But I was lucky to be able to play on the Young Legends, which was a team based out of Milwaukee,
Oh,
and
okay.
so I kind of spent a lot of my time. I would say like half in Pewaukee, half in Milwaukee, and I feel like I've been to every gym in the city, man, and just met a bunch of cool people and made some great relationships with people from around the suburbs and also from around the city. So just really cool for me to be able to know like all different people, man, and a lot of people supported me on my journey, so I really appreciate them for that.
Yeah, for sure, bro. And I heard this about a couple weeks ago, right? And I'm gonna ask you this too. I heard this where people were saying like Tyler Hero used to always, come to the city because he felt like that was the best basketball. Do you
Mhm.
feel the same? Like that was where the best basketball was played at in Milwaukee?
Yeah, for sure, man. I mean, there was when I was playing AAU, there was probably like four, maybe even six teams from the city that like any time you could get competitive runs going or in those local tournaments, there was a lot of competition, whether it was like DTA, us at the Young Legends, I mean the Spartans, like Playground was from around there. And man, there were so many good teams, so
Yeah.
many good runs, and the competition's great in Milwaukee. I think it's kind of slept on nationally as a hoop city, but there's a lot of hoopers coming out of there.
Yeah, I agree with you, but I feel like Wisconsin. Well, not now, but back when I
Yeah.
play, I'm old, man. I'm 38 years old. I'm class of 2005. I'm old, but it's like it's so great to see you and other names who are making a name for themselves on the basketball scene because we're not as big as North Carolina, California, all them type places. So to see you guys put Milwaukee even more on the map when it comes to the hoop scene, like that's dope. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for
So
sure.
hmm now as far as siblings, man, I always ask this, all right? Is people, the way I played on the basketball court, Jack, a lot of people like, man, he just so like a bully. He mean, he play hard. But I grew up with six sisters, bro. And I got no brothers. So like, do you have any siblings, older brothers, younger sisters?
I got one older sister. She's 4 years older than me, but she played sports in high school, but we were never too like competitive with each other or anything like that. We kind of did our own thing.
Yeah. What about did anybody inspire you to play any sports?
My family, honestly, they're not too big of sports people. Like they enjoy sports, but they were never really athletes themselves. I would say for me, I was just growing up, and the first basketball team that I really liked was the Celtics. They just when I was young, they were really good, and I kind of just became a fan. And Paul Pierce was always my idol. I always looked up to him, watched like all these videos about him and stuff like that. So from afar, he was kind of the guy that I looked up to and tried to play like a little bit.
Yeah, I like Paul Pierce, man. The truth.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
the
how you been
truth.
playing
That's right.
lately. Yeah, that's how you been playing lately. Like the truth. No, but choosing Pewaukee, right? Did you choose Pewaukee because it was like in your district, or was it some history behind it? And I know y'all have feeder programs, I believe, out there, and I know
Mhm.
a lot of y'all grew up, together in the same
Yeah.
system. But why did you choose Pewaukee High School?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, like I was just the school that I went to for elementary school, and it was just a local school, like 5 minutes from my house, so it was a good fit
Okay.
locally. But then also, it was good sports there, good school. Like you said, all my friends were there and stuff like that. So it all worked out pretty well to where I felt comfortable there, and I didn't feel like I had to look elsewhere.
Yeah, yeah. I feel you. I feel you. Now, as far as your height and your confidence, I know you play AAU ball. You may have traveled, got
Mhm.
experience playing AAU. Now the confidence going into Pewaukee though, like were you the same height? Were you skinny going in? Did you feel like you was ready to like play when you went into
Man,
high school?
I played JV my first year. I think I don't know for sure, but I want to say I was like 5'10" as a freshman. For sure, scrawny. I grew a lot going into my sophomore year. I
Okay.
think going into my sophomore year, I was like 6'1", 6'2", and then I finally got to 6'3", like junior, senior year. But
Yeah.
yeah, my body had to fill out. I was kind of a late bloomer, just in general. Wasn't like super athletic. I mean, I'm still not super athletic, but I've definitely gotten a lot better.
Yeah, yeah.
Gotten a lot better than I was, and yeah, going into Pewaukee, I was always like just one of the kind of the guys on the team. I was never that special, but then as I grew a
Yeah.
little bit and kind of dedicated myself more towards the weight room and towards the game, working on my shot, working on my game, all that stuff. That's kind of when I started to see the results, and especially like my junior, senior year of high school. That's kind of what really got me going.
Okay, okay. And you would say junior year was like your breakout year?
Yeah, junior year was definitely junior year. Like I started all the games and had some big games. Like I had a game where I hit 10 threes, all that good stuff. So that was definitely my breakout.
10 is 10 your lucky number, man. You need to
That
start,
is, yeah.
Hey, you know what? We gonna get to that, man. But like you said, you had a breakout game, and I know against Wauwatosa West or
Tulsa East,
East.
Tulsa West, Tulsa West,
It was
Tulsa West.
Tulsa
Yeah.
West, Tulsa West. You had a career high, I believe. You had 38 points. That's when you hit 10 threes. At that point in time of your career, did you feel like y'all can win a state title around that time?
Yeah, we thought. I mean, we were a really good team that year. We thought we had a chance. Obviously, there was other great teams in the region, like Whitnall with Hero and other spots. But we definitely were confident going into the state tournament. We thought we had a good chance, but it just didn't come together for us.
Yeah.
I think we lost to Eisenhower that year. And yeah, I mean, we thought we were great, but obviously we got humbled at the end of the year.
Yeah, yeah, it's tough. It's tough, and making the state run is very tough. It's different now. Back when I played, we had to win 7 games straight.
Yeah.
I watch us upstate now, and I believe, yeah, it's only 2 days. Like you win the first game upstate, and then you
Yep.
have to, yeah, then it's a championship.
Yeah, you're
Shit,
right. Yep.
so we had 3 days, and yeah, it's way more difficult. I mean, it was difficult back then. Sorry
Yep.
about that. But man,
Hmm.
speaking of Tyler Hero, but well, besides Tyler Hero, was there any other player that you faced in your conference that you felt was like, okay, I got to come and play because this guy's tough as well? Like, do you have any players?
Um, in our conference specifically, Hero was definitely like the guy.
Okay.
There was other good teams, but we didn't really have any other like high major, high profile players in our conference. But I mean, there was a lot of non-conference games that we played against tough dudes. Like I mean, obviously you had Halliburton up at Oshkosh North, McCabe at Kakana. We played Milwaukee, Washington against Tijon Lucas and Deontay Long, a bunch of tough dudes. So I mean, especially when we played those city games. Like we played Washington a couple different years. We played them my senior year, and they had Long, they had Foster, they had Dinsmore. They had a good team. I mean, Vincent had some great teams too with Rob Anderson, and I remember
Mhm.
one time he almost gave us 50. We somehow won, but
Yeah.
Those are always some of my favorite games against the city teams, just because the crowd was always popping. Whether you were
Yeah.
playing, whether we were playing at Pewaukee or whether we were playing at Vincent or Washington, those crowds are always popping. I love those games.
Yeah, man. Man. Hey, you playing some household names, and your name was a household name as well. I'm pretty sure you probably seen them guys, maybe in AAU.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure, but yeah, it's always fun to play them good games, man, and test your talent and test your
Yep,
ability. All the
for sure.
grind you've been working. Yeah, you feel what I'm saying?
Yep.
So let me see. So playing against Tyler Hero, highly recruited. He's going to Kentucky. He having a blast his senior year. Almost like he got a bullseye on his back. But then
Yeah.
you guys, yeah, Pewaukee play against him, and it's a clip right now. I'm pretty sure that you have seen. I mean, I'm pretty sure you played in the game,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it's a clip going around. Jack, beat Tyler Hero, to go upstate or wherever the case may be. But going into that game, if you can remember, like, what was your mindset individually? Like, wow, I'm about to play against Tyler Hero, highly recruited, going to Kentucky.
Yeah. We played against Hero like 3 times a year. I feel like since fifth grade. So we played them a lot. Had a lot of battles. So there was definitely a rivalry there. Obviously, he like you said, the highly touted recruit, and I was just trying to make a name for myself as much as I could, trying to kind of match up my skills to his. And going into that game, I just remember the hype around it. Like there was people standing outside for hours trying to get tickets, things like that. The gym was totally packed, and the atmosphere that was definitely the best atmosphere for a high school game I ever played in. Um, yeah, and just going into it, I just approached it like I just want to have the utmost confidence in myself and my teammates, because you can't go into a game and be thinking down on yourself because the other guys, got higher recruiting profile than you or
Yeah.
whatever the case may be. Obviously, he's a tremendous player, but yeah, I just went into it thinking I'm gonna do my thing. I'm not gonna force anything, but I'm gonna be aggressive in my spots. And I had other great teammates as well. Grant Basili, shout out to him. He put on a great performance that night as well. So we just went into it thinking the two of us can beat the one of him.
Definitely the one of him for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah. And I just remember uh just seeing the highlights and just hearing about the game, and truth be told, Jack, I'm gonna be honest with you. Um, didn't hear too much about Pewaukee up until that
that's
game.
fair. That's fair.
Yeah, just heard about
Mhm.
the shooters, and it's crazy because when y'all play now, I'm on top of the Pewaukee game
Yeah.
and watching the guys that go there now or have
Yeah,
graduated, whatever the case may be. But that was definitely a tough game. Y'all put them out, and I know that had to be a good feeling, believe it or not, because he was very
for
highly
sure.
recruited. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, the awards you received your senior year while being at Pewaukee, did you receive any first team, second team, all conference? Like, tell us about your accolades that you received.
Yeah, I know I was first team all conference. I think Hero was player of the year, rightfully so. um,
Yeah.
and yeah, I don't think, I think I was like honorable mention all state or something like that. To be honest with you, man, that was so long ago. I can't
Yeah.
even tell you for sure which one I was.
Yeah. So I know you can't remember, but the if you didn't get first team or second team, right? Did that like motivate you to work on your game even more? Because all the names and the players you may have played
Yep.
against, and did you feel like your name was included in that, like,
Yeah, I
or
definitely felt. Yeah, so like I said, I don't remember exactly where I was selected for like the all state stuff, but I do remember feeling after seeing the stuff come out, like I got a little slighted. Like I should have been on the team with some of those names that I saw on there. So that was definitely something that obviously I wouldn't be able to prove myself on the high school stage in Wisconsin anymore because I was graduating. But
yeah,
I wanted to in the future show that, hey man, I was as good, if not better, than these guys, and I was going to work my tail off to prove that and to kind of jump them in the future.
yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. And I know that you signed with Hillsdale College's
Mhm.
Division II program.
Yep.
I believe you signed like October 15th. It was it
Yeah,
was
before the season. Before the
it was
season.
before the season. Yeah, it was before the season. why do you feel that you signed so early in the
Yep.
season?
Yeah, I went on my visit to Hillsdale, and that was the first full ride scholarship I got offered. And they had a long history of recruiting Wisconsin kids. They've been successful locally in Michigan, like in that league, but they hadn't really had any national success yet. And I was just kind of excited to go there because they had that good program. They had great facilities for Division II, and I just wasn't sure kind of how my season. Like I was confident going into my season, but talking to other coaches and things like that, I wasn't sure where the rest of my recruiting would lead. So I was just confident in Hillsdale, and I thought it was going to be a good place for me to excel. And I just decided early. I was like, I'm just going to make this commitment, and then I'm going to focus on my high school season and try to make it as memorable as possible. Win as many games. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's dope. So when you sign, do you excuse me, I'm sorry. So when you sign, were there like any other school that wanted to offer, or that was just kind of like
That was
between?
really the main one. There were
Okay.
a lot of D3 schools around Wisconsin that wanted me, and there were some D2s in Minnesota that were interested, but I didn't have full ride offers. So
Oh,
Hillsdale was kind of the pick where I was just like, hey, I'm not gonna have to pay for my school and get everything
yeah.
taken care of. So that was a good fit for me.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Whatever, fit your game and, obviously school or whatever the case may be, the curriculum. I'm sorry. But so you had a good junior senior year at Pewaukee. Do you feel any point, especially your senior year, signing so early, even though you signed Division II, did you have a thought in your head like I can really play Division I basketball?
Yeah, I always thought that I could. Like I always saw those guys, whether they're at Milwaukee or those a lot of those local schools, and thought like I could be that one day. I definitely knew that I had to get better.
Yeah,
Like I knew there was improvements to be made. Uh, I wasn't lying to myself, telling myself that I was going to go start at a D1 school right away, type of
yeah,
thing. But I definitely thought like with my work ethic that I could get there one day and I could compete. But to be honest, once I committed to Hillsdale, I was just locked in on that, and I was just thinking I want to be the best player I can be at Hillsdale for Division II. I want to be as successful as possible, win as many games, and I didn't really start truly considering the D1 like transfer route until the COVID year came about, and I realized, hey, I'm going to have an extra year, and I want to try to test my talents at the D1 level.
okay, yeah, and that was going to be my next question because you choose Hillsdale College, of course, and you redshirted as a true freshman, and is that the reason why you redshirted because of
Uh,
the COVID year, or?
so a lot of the just that's kind of how it goes at Hillsdale. Like a lot of the players redshirt because it's a tough school, and also they just usually have big rosters. So you just redshirt as a freshman, and then you get that extra year at the end when you're older and just a better player. But yeah, that was definitely part of it. Was I just wanted to. The COVID year hadn't quite came around yet. I think it was like the next season or something like
Oh
that.
yeah, the following season. Yep.
But I was like, yeah, I'm gonna redshirt because I got to get better. I got to work on my body, all that stuff. And I was just thinking, I might as well take this year to get better, so that in my last year, I'd rather have my last season be my best season than burn a season as a 18-year-old when I'm not going to play a ton. So it just made sense to me.
Yeah. So you took that year off, red shirt, got better, worked on your game, your craft, and whatever the case may be. And I don't want to jump the gun too much, but I know you had a breakout season, 2021, 2022,
Yep.
where you made history again. It was a Division II. You always able to go to the NCAA tournament, make the Elite Eight.
Yep.
It was the first time in the school history. How did that like make you feel like making history at a Division II program?
Yeah, man, that was one of my favorite, if not my favorite, seasons I've ever had as a player. I feel like it kind of just encapsulates my whole career. I mean, I was at the beginning of that season, I was playing, I was like kind of six man, but I
Yeah,
wasn't playing a ton. I was like maybe 18, 20 minutes a game type of guy, and I kind of just proved that I was worth a starting spot. And then midway through the year, I joined the starting lineup and started playing like full time starter minutes, like 30 plus a game, and being second on the team in scoring, really making those contributions. And then when we got to that tournament, so D2 set up a little different from D1 for the tournament. Like there's 8 regions of 8 teams. So we just went to our Midwest regional and we won 3 games. So that was kind of like almost like winning your conference tournament to go to the D1 national tournament.
Yeah.
So just winning that regional tournament, going to the Elite Eight, that was like the first thing in my basketball career, like the first postseason tournament that I really won. Because in state for high school, we won some games, but we never won state. And in college, that was the first time I really won something. So I just remember, I'll never forget that feeling of like, man, all this hard work paid off. Like we went out here, we accomplished our goal. We won this regional tournament out of, I think it was like 40 or 50 Division II teams in that region. And that just felt really good. And I'll never forget that feeling of that success for sure.
Yeah, for sure, man. Congratulations. I played Division two
Appreciate it.
ball. Yeah, no problem. I played Division two ball. I don't know if you ever heard of Concordia St. Paul.
Oh
Of
yeah.
course,
Oh
it's
yeah.
in Minnesota. Yeah, went there, man, and of course we didn't have a chance. We were an okay team, but for you to experience that, man, I know it was a good experience, man.
Oh yeah.
So yeah. And how long did you go to Hillsdale before transferring to
Yeah.
Oakland?
So I was there, I redshirted and then I played 4 years. So I was there for 5 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. See, this is
Long
what I
time.
have to. Okay. So, okay. Yeah. This is what I have to act. Red shirted, that don't count. Even though
Mhm.
you enrolled, your
Yep.
time didn't start ticking though because
Correct.
you was red
Correct.
shirt. Okay. So you did 4 years at Hillsdale,
Yep.
and then you transferred because you were a grad student. You
Hmm.
transferred to
Yep.
Oakland, and you were still able to get an extra year.
So yeah, so I redshirted and then played 4 years, so that's 5. And then because of the COVID year, like technically one of those 4 playing years at Hillsdale didn't count. So that's why you see all these guys that are playing 6 years, even some that are playing 7 because of like a medical red shirt. So that's how
Okay.
it worked out.
Wow. So that's how Oakland came about.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Because the COVID year, like so you
Yeah.
got that year back. So you didn't play no games COVID year though, right? Correct.
We played like a couple, but it wasn't a full season. Like no
It
one really
wasn't
played a full season.
okay. So you got that back. So
Yep.
excuse me. So why did you go? Why did you choose Oakland? I'm just trying to like help me
Yeah.
understand,
Yeah.
Jack. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Or why did you
Yeah.
choose to like go to D1?
Yeah, so once I knew that COVID year was a possibility, I was excited to finish my career at Hillsdale. Wanted to be as successful as I could, but I knew that I wanted to try to play D1, test my talents. You know what I mean? Jump up a
Hmm.
level and prove myself. And once I entered the portal, my coach at Hillsdale, he knows the coach at Oakland pretty well, Coach Campy. So he kind of just reached out to him and was like, "Hey, I know you like to have 3-point shooters on your team. I know the type of guys you like."
Yeah.
So he was just like, "I got the right guy for you. Like he'll fit right into your system." And for me, I got recruited by a couple other D1s when I entered the portal, but Oakland always was just made the most sense playing style wise, location, school wise, the team, a bunch of great guys on the team, all that good stuff. So um, it was really a simple decision for me. I knew that it was going to be my best chance to excel in my role as a basketball player, and I knew Coach Campy was going to maximize my strengths. So I was really excited.
Oh, that's dope, man.
Yeah,
You see what happened when you keep good relationship with your coaches, man.
exactly.
Like, yeah, so they gave him the
Oh,
call.
yeah.
Hey, man, I got the perfect shooter for you. No brainer. What was the other two Division 1 schools, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, yeah. So Lipscomb was one that was the other one that I was really considering down in Nashville.
Okay.
And then there were a couple out east, like in the NEC, and then SIUE in the Ohio
Okay.
Valley also offered me.
Okay. Cool. Now, I never got a chance to play Division 1 basketball. I was a Division 2 player, and I'm pretty sure, for you, was that I know it's a different transition, but how difficult was it difficult transition from like playing Division 2, and
Yeah.
then going to Division 1? Like how was that for you?
Yeah, it was interesting because to be honest, like I didn't feel like you didn't obviously you play better athletes, you play bigger guys, everyone's like a couple inches taller, all that good stuff. But I didn't feel like it was too much of a difference at first.
Okay.
Like I felt like I fit in. I felt like I was good enough and all that stuff. But looking back on the season, like if I look at my numbers specifically, you can tell that there was like an adjustment period. Like the first half of the season, my numbers were one way, and the second half of the season, my numbers were a lot better. So
Yeah.
I think it did take me some time to kind of get adjusted to the speed of the game and things like that. And once I did, then everything kind of just clicked.
Okay, cool, cool. Now, as far what about as far as the school side? Now, I'm pretty sure classrooms are bigger. The
Mhm.
campus are,
Oh yeah,
is much bigger. Like,
yeah.
was that like okay for you, or were you kind of like, whoa, it's a lot of people in this
No,
class?
yeah. Yeah, I liked Hillsdale, but yeah, it was super small and I was definitely ready kind of to try something new. You know what I mean? Like I was excited to get a new experience. A big like Oakland's it's not a huge school, but it's a bigger public school.
Yeah.
Hillsdale's a small private school, so I was excited to try that new thing and kind of move to that next stage. But to be honest with you, I mean, you know how it is. It was more of a hoops move than a school move,
Yeah.
if I'm being totally honest with you.
Yeah. No, that's 100, bro. I like you, Jack. Yeah, I like you. I like you for that, man. That's 100, man. Oh man, you lost me with that. I'm sorry, bro.
You're
Yeah, yeah.
good.
Oh, okay, I know what I was saying. Yeah, play now. Far as playing though, I now playing, like you said, different athlete speed. But for you individually, when you played your first Division 1 basketball game, because you already had the thought like I can play
Mhm.
Division 1. I worked hard. Playing your first Division 1 game, were you like, was you a little nervous, or you just felt like I'm ready? I'm ready to do this.
No, man, I was super excited. We were at Ohio State, so like they got a big, pretty much like an NBA arena they play in. It's like 18,000 seats. It wasn't packed out, but there was probably 10,000 people there, and man, I was so excited. I remember walking on the floor to warm up. I was usually the first guy out there for warm ups, and Coach Campy just came up to me and he asked me, he was like, "You nervous? Like, is this stage too big for you?" And I told him, I was like, "Nah, Coach, this is what I worked my whole life for, to get to play on a stage like this." So um, it was definitely an adjustment, like we said, playing wise, but my confidence was there, and I was just excited to have that type of opportunity because as a Division 2 player, I mean, you know how it is. You don't always play in front of a bunch of people. You don't always play in the
Yeah.
biggest gyms, and to be able to play in real arenas like that was a dream come true.
Yeah, that's dope, man. Oh man, that's dope. And I can tell that you and your coach at Oakland has a really good relationship.
Mhm.
Tell us about, how supportive, he
Yeah.
been since you arrived at Oakland.
Yeah, he's a tremendous coach. I can't say enough good things about him. He cares about his guys. He knows so much about the game of basketball. He's been coaching at Oakland for 40 years, so he
Yeah, yeah,
knows
I seen that.
he knows as much as there is to know. To be honest with you, but yeah, I mean, when I first got there, he instilled a bunch of confidence in me. He watched me work and work out in the summer and saw like what I was going to bring to the table, and that's when he kind of talked to me and said, "This is going to be your role this season, and I want you to obviously play it as best you can." And so at first, it was all about him instilling confidence in me, and like I said, there was a bit of a rough patch in the season, and at that point, he pulled me to the side and told me like, "Hey, we got to figure it out. We got to get our head on straight." So he does a great job of showing support, but also kind of the tough love sometimes of like we got to get things set straight, and he knows like what buttons to push with what guys. So I got to give him credit for that for sure.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And when he said role, now I know your former coach at Hillsdale said I got a shooter for you. What role did he give you at Oakland? Like, that leadership.
Mhm.
What role did he give
Yeah,
you?
yeah. Yeah, so obviously on the court, it was like the designated 3-point shooter. He's had a bunch of guys like that in the past: Travis Bader, Max Hooper, some guys that come off screens and draw the attention of the defense. So
Hmm.
he really wanted me to be firing up a lot of shots and obviously knocking them down, but to draw that defensive attention to kind of free up my teammates. And then off the court, he just wanted me to be another great leader for the team. We had a couple guys who've been here for 4 or 5 years who know the ins and outs of the program, but it was kind of my job to be the new guy who showed all the other new guys that you could fit in seamlessly with these older guys who have been here, and just kind of to bring more of a stabilizing energy to the team because obviously when you're hooping, there's a lot of emotions and things like that. And coach knew that I was a pretty level headed guy, so I was just always trying to keep everybody cool and on the same page.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, listen, I seen you play, Jack. I could tell you a good, a cool young man. But when you get on fire, I see the feistiness now. I see the fire up under you. You know,
For
you was
sure,
deep,
for
man.
sure.
Yeah, yeah. Now this one stood out to me. You score your 1,000 career points against UWM,
Yep.
University of Wisconsin Milwaukee. For those who don't know, you scored 1,000 points in double overtime. Tell us how was that for you, because you grew up down the street from
Yeah.
Milwaukee, played AAU, open gyms, all that type of stuff. Just played ball there.
Oh yeah.
Then you play against UWM and score your 1,000 career point. How did that make you feel?
Man, that was an amazing game. Like going into that game, I knew there was so many people out there supporting me from Milwaukee and from Pewaukee, from my hometown. So I knew I had to show out for all of them. And
Yeah,
like you said, man, I mean, growing up, uh, once I kind of got older, I knew that like the Marquettes and the Wisconsins of the world weren't gonna necessarily give me an offer out of high school, but I
yeah,
was always thinking like, hey, I could play at UWM. Like I would love to play for the hometown school, but they never really gave me that chance. So I was going into that game kind of thinking like, hey, I'm gonna get them back. I'm gonna make them pay for that. You know what I mean? And for that to be the game that I score my 1,000th career point in, and we get a huge overtime win, that was it couldn't have gone better. Couldn't have asked for a better result out of that one, and that's the game that kind of kickstarted me for the second half of the season. Just go home, kind of get right game, and the rest is history.
yeah, man. Because you definitely made history for sure. But we gonna get to that, Jack. But this is another thing too. I seen that you made six man. You received. I'm sorry. You received six man of the year, and you also all time. I mean, not all time. All tournament team in the Horizon League, right? So
Mhm.
you received both of those, and I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm like, "Oh, hold on, Jack was coming off the bench and still received all tournament team. Like what? Now that I'm listening to you, I'm like, hold on, what role did the coach want Jack to play? You know what I'm saying? You
Yeah.
didn't find that kind of weird, Jack? Be honest, bro.
So
Oh, like,
at the beginning of the year, I started like the first, I don't know, 15 games, maybe something like that. And we just like as a team, we were just like we got to switch it up a little bit. We were doing well, but we weren't doing as well as we thought we should be doing. And coach just came up to me and he was like, "I'm gonna bring you off the bench." Like he knew that me as a teammate, I was fine with it. As a competitor, obviously, I want to start, but I mean, I knew we just needed to change something up, so I was cool with it. I mean, I played like 35 minutes a game off the bench, so
yeah,
I would pretty much just not play the first 4 or 5 minutes, and then I would come in at the first media timeout and play the rest of the game. So for me, like it didn't matter to me if I was starting or not. I knew I was going to play pretty much the entire game, and
yeah,
that was kind of just the way that coach wanted to start the game. He wanted to start it with a little bit bigger, more athletic lineup, and then after that, I would come in and start doing my thing. But yeah, to get all tournament team off the bench is definitely not a normal thing.
yeah,
But when you see when you see the amount of minutes I play, it's
yeah.
I'm pretty much just like a starter.
That starter, yeah, yeah, exactly. But I'm not gonna lie, I'm like, hold on, like, all tournament. Oh, okay, okay. I'll let Jack explain this. Okay, yeah, yeah. But this is another thing too, Jack. Now you straight shooter. You 6'3". You do. I'm sorry, excuse me.
Okay.
You 6'3". You're a really good shooter. You use the screens very, very well. And there's two things I'm gonna ask you. But the first thing I'm gonna ask you, who do you like? I know you a Paul Pierce fan, right? One of your favorite players. But as far as a shooter though, like it seemed like you watch a lot of Steph Curry. Like, do you watch a lot of Steph Curry, JJ Redick, man? Because them the vibes you give me, man. Do
Yeah.
you watch them guys?
Yeah, there's a lot of shooters I've watched over my career to try to study, but obviously, I mean Curry obviously is one of them, but the two that I studied the most are definitely JJ Redick. I mean, I learned so much just by watching his film and the way he comes off screens, the way he creates separation. He had a successful career in the NBA, and he was only 1 or 2 inches taller than me. Not the most athletic guy out there, but could obviously shoot the rock. So, just trying to learn kind of how he got open and the way that he would line up his feet and his body to knock those shots down. And then also Klay Thompson's another great guy to watch, especially at his peak. I mean, he was sprinting off screens the entire game, making
Yeah.
reads and firing threes. And I think it was his game against Chicago. He had like 60 points on like 8 dribbles or something like that. So so for
That's
me,
crazy.
I always try to be like a threat no matter where I am on the court, but also to where my teammates can be the ones that are more ball dominant and I always pride myself on being able to score without dribbling because I think that's important that a team has someone like that because
Yeah.
obviously you're going to have guys that can make plays off the bounce, and that's probably the most important thing you can have as a team. But if you add someone who can score without the ball to that just makes their job that much easier.
Yes, and shout out to your teammates, Jack. They do a
Yeah.
great job
Yes, they
finding
do.
you.
Yes,
Yeah,
they
they
do.
do a great job. And I'm talking about all the way from like I even watched you in high school,
Mhm.
and I'm like, wow, your teammates, yeah, every team you
No, I've been
land
I've
on,
been
they
lucky to
find
play
you.
with some great teammates who set
Yeah,
great screens and pass the ball really well because obviously without them, I wouldn't be getting the ball.
yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. All right, man. So look, you go to the NCAA tournament, bro. You have to play against number 3 Kentucky Wildcats, man. Highly recruited players, Rob Dillingham, and the list goes on. And you guys are a 14 seed, right? What did you think going in this game individually, and what did your coach like? How did he prepare y'all for that game?
Yeah,
Like, how would
so as a team, Coach Campy he tried to keep it as kind of consistent with the rest of the season as possible. Like he would say, we got to prepare how we have all season, we got to practice how we have all season, we got to play how we have all season. Obviously, when you see a team like Kentucky, you see that name across the front of their chest, you see how many stars all those players had coming out of high school, and it might be intimidating, or you might be like, damn, it's gonna be a tough one. But
yeah,
we just tried to prepare as consistently as possible, and coach just gave us that message of like, believe in yourselves, believe in your teammates, believe in your coaches, because we've done a lot to get to that point, to get that opportunity to even play in that game. So we just had to believe in ourselves. And man, for me individually, it was kind of just like I said for that Ohio State game at the beginning of the year, but now we're on an even bigger stage. I was just so excited to get that opportunity. I mean, as a basketball player, as a kid, that's what you dream of. You dream of a
yeah,
chance to play in the tournament. I mean, a chance to play against arguably the best team like of all time, just in terms of program,
yeah.
Kentucky. We were on national TV, prime time. Like you couldn't have got a better situation than that. And I was just like, I need to go out here and seize this opportunity, because if I don't, I'm going to regret it for the rest of my life. And I know that I did the preparation beforehand as much as I possibly could. So there was no reason I shouldn't have the confidence going in.
Yeah, you definitely had the confidence, and you definitely seized the moment.
Yeah.
You wind up having 32 points. You hit 10 3-pointers. You tied for second in the NCAA tournament of all time. And just explain, like, I watched the game live, first of all, and truth be told, I'm watching the game, and I just remember saying, like, who is this guy that is cashing Kentucky out? And then they say Pewaukee, Wisconsin. I'm like texting everybody, like, who, like, hold on, dude, with the Pewaukee, like, what year is he? You know what I'm saying? And just the like I was saying earlier, Jack, just to hear someone like on a big stage that did well, that's from Wisconsin, not just Milwaukee, but Wisconsin, it was like a good feeling, to see you
Yeah.
perform like that, and other players,
Mhm.
that been from Milwaukee or Wisconsin in general, because like I said, we are such a small market, man, and you was lights out, bro. It was a lot of like, the game over with now, so but it was a lot of missed foul calls, a lot of 4-point plays, but you just making history, scoring 10 3-pointers, Jack, and putting out a number 3 seed, such a household name, man. Like, how did that make you feel, like individually?
Yeah, man, I appreciate it.
Yeah,
It was a fun game. Obviously, I mean, in the first half, I just remember going out. I missed my first two, and there's been a lot of games where stuff like that happens. But uh, honestly, like I got up those first two, and I was just like, those are good looks. Like if I get those looks, I'm gonna start making things happen. And I mean, some of them just coming off screens and stuff like that. My teammates did a great job getting me open, getting me some daylight. And once that first one fell, I was kind of just like, man, I'm going to make this my moment. They were guarding our bigs, kind of trying to take them away. And I knew that I was going to have to make plays for us to win. And obviously, we wanted to win pretty bad. So, yeah, I just started sprinting as hard as I could, try to create space, all that good stuff, come off these screens. And like I said, I mean, it just takes confidence. Like as soon as you kind of get rolling, I was just kind of in like that flow state, you know what I mean, where
Yeah,
everything else is kind of just forgotten, and you're
yeah,
just focused on that rim and that ball. And uh, to be honest, I kind of just blacked out for the whole game, and I
yeah.
was I was just in attack mode.
Yeah, yeah. And I noticed like after the game, you was just like, you was amped and
Yeah.
when you went back to the bench, like did any like of the coaching staff or your players, like, bro, you just like tied like, making 10 3-pointers of all time. Like did they start telling you then or they told you in the back room, in the locker room?
On the court, I do remember one of my assistants like came up to me and he was like, "Do you realize what you just did?" And I was like, I don't know, like we beat Kentucky, like that was pretty cool, but no, I didn't realize it at the time. Like it just felt like as we're walking off the court, like, it felt like a huge basketball game, but it didn't feel like an event that the whole country watched. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like it just felt like, oh, we won a big game. Like let's get on to the next. But then as the night went on, it was more like you just made history. Like we
yeah,
just had a huge event. Like it was like the most watched game since Zion in the tournament or something like that. So
yeah, yeah.
so yeah, I was kind of just trying to figure it out as we went, like what actually happened.
Yeah, exactly. And how you feeling like now though? Like you've been interviewing for ESPN and you got
Yeah.
NIL deals, and I don't know if I can talk about the NIL. That's
No,
cool.
you
We
good.
can't.
You good. You good.
Okay, but a lot has happened after that
Mm,
game.
yeah.
And
Yeah. So
and
much has happened.
yeah, so how are you handling that and how was your supporting cast? It's like, as far as your family, your sisters,
Yeah.
parents and stuff, like they making sure that you're getting everything situated. Nothing's overwhelming though for you right now, is it?
No, I've been lucky. Yeah, my family helped a lot, and a couple of my close friends were actually there in Pittsburgh with me, just supporting at the games and stuff like that. And they were kind of the ones who handled everything, like media wise and NIL wise. I was obviously just trying to focus on that next game we had.
Yeah.
So they kind of just went through all my messages and all that good stuff. So it really helped me to have them there and focusing on that stuff. So I didn't have to worry about it really. I just had to take a call from those guys and then they tell me like kind of what's going on instead of me having to worry about
Yeah.
1,000 messages, whatever it may be. Um, yeah, so it was crazy, man, afterwards, the amount of interviews and things like that, but it was really cool. Like I got to meet a bunch of cool people, and obviously, I wish it would have lasted longer, and I would be lying to you if I said seeing the success that NC State is having right now, that it hurts, man. It really
Yeah.
hurts because we were so close. But at the end of the day, like I'm satisfied kind of with how our run went because we gave it 110%. Like there was nothing more. We could have made another shot here and there, but we couldn't have dove on the floor one more time or anything like that. Like we did
Yeah.
everything we could have.
Yeah, 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 y'all did good. Like you said, even though y'all fell short to NC State, try to look at the other way around, Jack. Hey, they in the Final Four, so you lost to a good
Yeah,
team. You know what I'm saying?
no,
And
for sure. There,
you also played well that game too. Y'all played good as a unit. The
yeah,
whole team, man. And I noticed, just backing up just a little bit, that Kentucky interview after you guys won the guy that was interviewing you, he asked your coach first. He said, "Coach, you pulled one of the biggest upsets," and you were shaking your head like you like no. So I see you shaking your head. No, like y'all went into that game knowing like, man, we can beat Kentucky. You know what I'm saying? So, but why was you
yeah.
shaking your head? That's why I want to know, though.
I've always had, I don't know what it is about me, but I've always had that mindset. Like I hate when people call me an underdog. Like I just that pisses me off, man. Like
Yeah,
I know Kentucky was the 3 seed. Like I understand that they're going to be the favorite, but I don't like when people call me the underdog because I don't feel like an underdog. Like I work just as hard as those guys
yeah,
across from me. Like I got the same opportunity that they got for this game right in front of us, and I'm gonna try and take advantage of it. Like, you know what I mean? I just don't like when people consider me the underdog, because I feel like I can compete with anybody, and that when I get to that stage, that's just the goal.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. Man, couple more things, Jack,
Yeah,
man. And I really do appreciate you, bro, taking out,
yeah,
the
for sure.
time, bro, pulling up to the Barcode Podcast 414. I really do,
Yeah, for
because
sure.
I know everybody want to watch the Iowa State game and LSU. I mean, the Iowa and the LSU game. That's why I appreciate you. So I got a couple more, and then we can
Yeah,
wrap this up, man.
yes, sir.
Yeah, so Jack, man, you went to the NCAA tournament, man, had a wonderful experience, bro. Um, I wish you nothing but the best. And I got two more questions, and this is absolutely it, man.
Yeah,
It was another clip that went viral, Jack, where you felt like you wasn't gonna go to the NBA. But we all know though, Jack, once you punch that ticket, you go to the NCAA tournament, you do your thing, the scouts, eyebrows raised, like, oh wow, who is this Jack guy? You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
why did you put so much work in, Jack, from Pewaukee to being a red shirt at Hillsdale to, grinding it out at Oakland, from starting to coming off the bench. You work so hard your whole journey. Why do you feel like you can't go to the next level in the NBA and you play some of the best talent in the
yeah.
NCAA tournament?
To be honest, I think I kind of said that wrong in the interview. um, my message got across. Like, my message was more so, like, these are the highly touted draft picks, and over here I'm not highly touted. My teammates aren't highly touted. We're not necessarily draft picks. Um, but I believe in my heart that I'm going to keep working hard, and I'm gonna try to make the NBA, and I think I can. I don't necessarily expect that opportunity immediately, but I know, like,
Yeah.
throughout my pro career, that I'll get an opportunity, and I think I'll make the most of it. But I more so just meant these are the lottery picks, and I know I'm not a lottery pick. I guess I said I'm not an NBA player, but I more so just meant, like, the the kind of exposure that they've had, and
Yeah.
the opportunity that they're going to have. I mean, props to them. Like, they're going to be there in the green room on draft night. Like, I'm excited for them. That's going to be awesome. But
Yeah.
I'm going to just keep doing my thing, and keep trying to climb the levels, and hopefully I can reach the NBA, because I got belief in my confidence and my work ethic that I could get there one day.
Yes, for sure. Now y'all heard it. He fixed it, y'all. Cause I'm like, hold on. You turned up in the tournament, man. Like you probably, you know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
you know, um, I appreciate you again, bro.
Mhm.
And closing question right here, Jack, man.
Yeah.
What advice do you have for these young kids out here that's, growing up in the world of sports, man? What advice would you
Yeah.
give them?
Man, it's a crazy world out there, especially the sports world. I mean, kids are getting after it at younger and younger ages these days. Kids are getting exposure at younger and younger ages, and it's really hard to be a kid and to see kind of your peers get a lot of attention, and you kind of get overlooked and things like that. But I just want the kids out there to know, man, that it's not it's cliche, but it's not about where you start, man. It's where you finish. And
Finish.
you can start off, whether it's middle school, high school, college, and be a little bit behind the curve. Some people are late bloomers. Some people start off really early. But the single greatest quote I think that I've taken with me on my journey is it's run your own race. Because when I was in high school, a lot of the times I was comparing myself to Tyler Hero, like we were talking about, and I was like, man, like, if I'm not Tyler Hero, I'm nothing. I'm nobody. But as I got older, I realized, like, I just need to maximize my own talent. I need to maximize my own abilities. And if you put in that work, it's going to be hard. It's going to be a lot of hours. You're going to miss some things with your friends and things like that. But if you truly want to be great, um, there's a path for you to be great, and it's not going to be the exact same as the 5 stars path to be great, but that's okay. And you can achieve great things. You're going to have a lot of success. You can have a lot of fun along the way, because you're on your own journey.
Yeah.
And everyone, if they work hard, there's a path to maximize your own journey, and once you do, you'll really appreciate it.
My boy Jack. I'm gonna call you Jack G. I like
Let's do
that
it.
name. Jack Gohlke. Y'all gonna have it. Pull it up to the Barcode Podcast 414. Make sure y'all hit that like, comment, and subscribe button. Man, I appreciate you so much, Jack. Like I said again, for taking out the time to pull up on me, bro. Great interview, bro. And good luck in your the rest of your basketball, journey. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna tell you this, and I mean this from the heart. Ride the basketball wave until the wheels fall off.
Yep.
Make sure you have a plan B and a C, baby. All right.
Oh yeah.
Man, yes, sir, man. I appreciate you, man. Jack and Q Bar is out. Appreciate you, Jack. You take care, brother.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me on, man. I
All right.
appreciate it.
All right.